Hello and welcome to another episode of Pathways to Thriving. Today I'm interviewing Suaran Sidhu. Suaran is a friend. I met Suaran many moons ago when I was in the legal practice, and I think when we both had a lot more black hair. We live in the same town, we go to the same church, and we only meet once in a while in the city. Yeah. Suaran is not only a highly regarded lawyer, he is also known for his amazing organizing capabilities.
Thank you.
And among friends, he is known for his sharp wit and humor, which I hope that you'll get a sense of today.
We shall try.
Not too sharp, because I'm sitting sideways. Suaran, welcome to Pathways to Thriving.
Thank you. Hi, Anita.
I know you've been busy with trials and all sorts of things.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time.
Welcome.
All right. So maybe we can start how I always start by getting people to tell us a little bit about themselves.
Okay. How far back do you want me to go?
Well, not too far back. we've got like about an hour.
Okay. Right. So I come from Penang. I was born and raised, and moved to KL somewhere in the 90s, and did my law. And thereafter, I've got mom and dad, 2 brothers. I'm happily married now with 2 kids.
Now. Was there a time when you were?
No, I was always happily married.
Thank you.
So I've got I'm a founding partner, one of the 2 founding partners for Law Partnership, and been practiced since November 1999. How time has flown, just at the cusp of the millennial back then. And it's going to be 25 years. Never thought I'd be here this long.
Amazing.
And so, still chugging along.
Yeah. Wow. 25 years.
I know. Quarter of a century.
Wow. That's hitting me for a moment because we are that old, but all right.
I'm still young at heart. I do not know about you, though.
Oh, well, the ones who say that are the ones who feel the need to declare something that's not always
It's all truthful stuff.
All right, okay. Could you share a bit about your journey, your career in law?
Yeah.
How did you choose dispute resolution, IP, TMT? Can you even explain what these are to people who may not have heard these words?
It'll be shocking for many to hear, but this path that I'm been on for some time wasn't a path that I planned for or wanted to or strived to achieve.
So I never knew that.
Yeah. So it was something that was suggested to me because being the knucklehead that I am, when I was in school, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Every month there was a different ambition of choice, flavor of the month,
Oh, wow.
Wanted to be an architect, wanted to be a computer scientist, wanted to be a vet, so it just kept changing over time. And then my very wise father said to me, look, you just, buckle down and just do law, and I think you will do well in it.
Yeah.
So I just took that advice because I just didn't know what else to do. I was just, my mind was very scattered.
Why?
And so I started on my journey for law with the anticipation that I'll finish the degree and thereafter do something else.
Wow.
And then one year led to another, and then here we are, 25 years later, and I'm still carrying on.
Still happily married to the law.
Yes, happily married to the law. And then why dispute resolution? So I started off in chambering in a firm called Azri Alba Zulkifli and Yap. And it was through a friend of mine, Gregory, that told me to go there. And I went there because he said he does IP. So I went there thinking I wanted to do intellectual property, but I ended up doing a fair bit of corporate.
Okay.
Mergers and acquisition, M&A kind of work.
Right.
Telecommunication work.
Right.
Telco, tech related stuff. So hardly much any IP, hardly any dispute resolution. I was thrown into the corporate world.
Right.
And I did that for about 2+ years. And I felt that wasn't my calling.
Okay.
And then I moved to Screen to do intellectual property disputes. And that's how it started. But I still carried on doing tech.
Right.
That's how I've gone into technology as part of my strength, and also intellectual property, and litigation.
So it was the tech part from Azri that brought
Alba
you.
Zulkifli.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, tech part from Alba Zulkifli stayed on.
Right.
So did the corporate training. And then dispute resolution I picked up in screen and IP.
Yeah.
So that's been my go-to ever since.
Wow.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, that's such an interesting journey.
So it wasn't planned for me. And
Yeah.
I remember one of the senior partners in Alba Zulkifli, Mr. Shahul Hamid, he once said this thing, and it stayed with me until now.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you don't choose the bar chooses you.
Wow.
The bar meaning there's an IP bar, there's a corporate bar, there's a
yeah.
conveyancing bar.
Yeah.
So which specialization you go to, sometimes you don't get to pick even though you want it
Yeah.
or you studied for it.
Yeah.
But ended up, that bar will pick you if it thinks you worthy.
Yeah.
That was, and it stayed with me, you know. You
Yeah.
could end up,
Yeah.
I mean, I've come across many students and associates who want to do corporate or want to do computer law, want to do technology, and that's their get-go. But then when they get into the practice of it, they realize
Yeah.
it's very different from the academics.
Yeah.
And then they don't end up doing it because
Correct. Yeah.
yeah. So sometimes it's not what
Yeah.
you can try, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's the bar that chooses what you do.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you use that because, you know, I'm a dog lover.
Yeah.
And we always say these things about how your dog chooses you.
Yeah.
So when it makes sense to me on that level.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, so thank you for that. You've been involved in some landmark cases, and one of the longest IP trials in Malaysia. I hope not because of your long-windedness, but how have these experiences shaped your approach as a lawyer and as a leader?
Right. It's quite a loaded question there. So when I started doing IP litigation, and especially the case that you've talked about, it's called the battle of the battle of the curries, right? It's a banana leaf restaurant with one versus the other. It started off small, and then it just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew due to just the sheer size of the facts that we had to present. What I've learned over time is that litigation is war.
Okay.
You know, and like you go into any war, the landscape changes, the armies on the other side changes, your army change, your strength will change, your physical, mental, the strength of the case as it is could change. The judicial temperament could change. You could have a change of a judge.
Right. Yeah.
At the change of maybe even one new piece of evidence that comes up, the whole angle of the case moves, and even though you have a very strong case, one witness crumbles and everything just follows through. You know?
Yeah.
So I've found that the only certainty in litigation is the complete uncertainty of it.
Nice.
There's
the only certainty of litigation is the uncertainty of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
quotable.
So you have to go in there knowing that everything is going to change, even though you prepare the best of times, and then you have to basically roll with the punches, make the best of any case. And I found that it's not over until it's over. Even when you feel that your case is not shaping up well at all stages of it, you have to keep fighting and fighting and pushing and kicking, and to the point where you know that there's never going to be a point in time you ask yourself, what if I had done better or done more, you know? And I've come across many cases where the strongest case has become the weakest, and you still fight. And the weakest case, or the strongest case, becomes weak because of what has happened in court. Things just change.
Yeah.
And I found that even in those circumstances, so long as you keep fighting it, keep finding ways, just keep thinking, be solutions oriented. It's not who messed up, it's what messed up, and then deal with that mess, not the people, you know, and find a way to manage that. And you'll find that over time, there's always one thing I've learned, there's always a way around it and a way out.
Okay.
So I've always make that clear. In the beginning, I felt that sometimes you hit a brick wall and you give up. And then through various people I've met who inspired me, I've learned that, look, there's always a way to punch through, way around, and you just have to do what you can. Yeah.
Why am I thinking of Captain America and the Avengers Endgame right at the end? But you speak about litigation as a war. Does that mean you have to go in with a fighting attitude? Because you also talk about being solutions oriented, which tells me that you manage relationships even with your opponents.
Yeah.
So how do you reconcile this idea of a war and being solutions oriented?
Right. Okay, that's a very interesting question. you have to manage both because you will meet all kinds of individuals. This is from the client perspective, teams, your members of your team, the opponents, the witnesses on the other side, the expert. There's so many characters, like we're going to watch a play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So every single case is going to bring about a different cocktail of ingredients.
Yeah.
So the result will be different.
Yeah.
Some could be fiery, some could be calm as anything, some could be just turbulent. So I think from my point of view, I try not to go in with the mindset of wanting to pick a fight or be nasty or just be horrible. The starting point always is to be as collegiate and as cordial as possible. But sometimes you can't do that when you have characters, personalities, whatnot that don't reciprocate.
Right.
So the war mindset is the fact that you're going in to win,
Yeah.
and you have to win in the best way possible, but in the most gentlemanly manner possible, right? You can still pick a fight, but in a way where it's within the rules, confines of the rule. You are civil, you are fair, and you don't play dirty.
Manners make it the man.
Manners make it the man.
All
But there are
right.
times when the gloves come off and you have to go in as a street fighter, and then you do what you need have to do.
It's fascinating listening to this because it's been a long time since I left legal practice. And when I speak to my lawyer friends, it always brings back a lot of emotion for me. But as you talk about these things, what are some of the biggest lessons from such high-profile cases for you about clients, about the law, about your opponents, and about yourself?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What are the biggest lessons? One of the big lessons I would say is that some of the strongest opponents are also the opponents who have the best manners.
Yes. Yes.
Right? They are very nice to deal with, and their strength comes from the fact that they come from a position of being sure and comfortable with themselves.
Yes.
And they put the best case forward.
Yes.
And they don't fight on petty, mundane things. They just
Yeah.
fight on what matters.
Yes.
And that is the kind of opponent I look forward to having.
Yes.
That's the kind of opponent I would like to be as well.
Yes.
Right? That's
Yeah.
one quality I hope to see in an opponent and in myself. That's one thing I've learned. The other quality I think I've come through from all these cases, what I've just mentioned, the fight is not over until the very end. And even then, when you think it's over, you keep fighting. So the can-do spirit, the wanting to keep finding a way to make it work and come up with a new argument or a new solution, that is another thing that I've learned over years.
So tenacity.
The tenacity,
Yeah.
don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give
Yeah.
up. You may be down, be burnt out, but dust off and
Yeah.
then move on and keep fighting.
Yeah.
And thirdly, you get more out of your team by being in a position where you explain and understand and get their buy-in, than to be in a situation when you're constantly also wanting to shove things down and expect them to just carry through. They will, of course, either way. But I think you get more when you do the first way. And I've also found when I talk to them, sometimes the aura or the signals that we are sending through non-communication methods has a big impact. So if I'm calm and I'm patient and I'm trying to find a way out, then they feel calm and patient, that they also think of a way out, even though they know that the whole day in court has been horrible. Right?
Okay.
But then if they see that you're tense
Yeah.
and panicky and
Yeah.
worried, then that also sort of get imposed on them,
Yeah.
gets transferred to them.
Yeah.
And then they start thinking like that. And science and the statistics will prove you only get solutions when you're calm
Yes.
and patient.
Yes.
And then ideas are going to start
Yeah.
falling through.
Rational
coming through.
thought comes through at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're panicking and everything, you shut down and say no.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So these are some of the lessons I think I would
Yeah.
put forth. Yeah.
I will come back to this point a little bit later. Don't worry, I'll also remind you of what you've said. But I want to go back again to the legal landscape.
Yes.
How have you seen in these 25 years? How have you seen the landscape for IP, TMT, dispute resolution change?
Oh, it's changed a lot. I would say one of the biggest changes in litigation is that the time it takes to now complete a whole case. So when I started, it was in the olden days when a case could take 5 years, 6 years, 7
Yeah.
years, it just gets adjourned, mention after mention,
Yeah.
nothing gets called up. no one is basically answering your phone. Forget about emails. The letter's not going to be answered, especially if you're looking at the official side of things.
Yes, yes.
But since 2007, 2008, when there was a move by the judiciary to expedite things and fast track things and whatnot, cases have been moving at a rapid pace, faster than one in Singapore.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, cases
now
over here, there's a KPI to finish a case within 1 year, start to end. As in, trial must be over.
Malaysia boleh.
Boleh,
really?
memang boleh. So you move at a rapid pace now.
Okay.
And there's one big change. The other big change would be that the judges now and the judiciary as a whole has become more technology friendly and ready. In fact, they're more than the lawyers.
Oh, really?
It was brought about by COVID. The COVID resulted in a new era for legal practice where things was happening virtually. Even trials were happening virtually. And this was pushed by the judiciary. The ex-CJ, Maimun, she pushed for it. There was a lot of reluctance from lawyers who preferred to be in the courtrooms of law and pushing through the corridors of justice and whatnot.
Yeah, sometimes just delaying matters as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so that has resulted in a lot of virtual hearings, trials, that, practice went on. That's one big change. There's also been a lot of development in IP law because there's a specialist court, for some time now, since it's almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And the specialist court has resulted in a very enlarged jurisprudence for the IP practice.
Right. So that's actually pertinent to our country itself.
Correct.
Yeah.
A lot of IP cases have been reported, have been talked about, has gone up on appeal. Even at the appeal level, there'll always be a specialist IP, maybe a practitioner or a judge who has an IP court who will be on the panel.
Wow.
So, you have that level of expertise sort of coming in. It brings a lot of credence to the growth of the IP, the cases per se. Yeah.
Suaran, how have these changes in the legal landscape impacted lawyers?
We are more breathless now. We have to keep up with the judges. There's a lot more to do now with the advent of things of e-filing and everything being digital. Things, you can no longer say, I didn't receive it, fax machine was down, things are just coming like that. So there's a lot more reading to be done in a shorter span of time, a lot of materials to go through, everything is online. So the expectations of what a practice is today is very different from what it was 20 years ago. You need to be able to keep up, be tech savvy, and keep up also with the young ones, who are just, for them, it's like duck to water when it comes to technology, and we have to keep up. And now AI is coming in, and it has, in a way, it is going to change legal practice in a significant way.
Okay.
It is going to.
How do you foresee this?
For example, of course, AI is accused of having AI hallucinations where cases are being made up, solutions are coming up with cases that don't exist and whatnot.
That's what I've been hearing, that it cites cases that
don't exist, and they cite the whole cases, they've created a whole case from like, what is going on? It's a very creative AI, but then you find various new the existing law resources or online publications that have cases and whatnot. They are having their own AI inbuilt.
Right.
So you could, for example, go to LexisNexis or any of the, in time to come, you could just say, I want a research point on this issue, on this point. Can you give me all the cases and write up on this angle? And you could get the first cut of your opinion and memo done up.
Wow.
And then you can summarize it further to say, give me the top 5 points of this memo, so long as you like it. And give me also, for example, if I was for the other side, what cases could I then use to counter this position? The AI will then do a counter check on itself. So you've got two positions. Okay, now give me a pro and con of all this in Excel or even PowerPoint manner. PowerPoints are ready, and off you go to your client. So all of that is job that junior associates and chambering pupils would do, wouldn't it? But now you have an AI stepping in and saying, lo and behold, I get that done in 5 minutes.
Yes, the time. So what is the advice to young lawyers? And I'm asking this from this perspective, right? In a time that when we were young lawyers, we did a lot of the research on our own. And I'm speaking to quite a lot of senior lawyers like yourself. The law is already in your head. And when AI comes up with some new case that is not really in existence, you sort of know that this is nonsense. But how do young lawyers who are coming into the profession build this bank of knowledge when they are so reliant on AI, for example, to come up in 5 minutes? Because the learning doesn't happen in that 5 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
With a few points to bring up. One would be when you say if AI did submissions for me, or for that matter, associate does a submission or research on AI and gives it to me, I sometimes may not be able to know now because it's becoming harder and harder to detect what is AI-able.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
they've got anti-AI tools,
Yes.
which makes an AI answer looks less AI.
Yes.
Therefore, you think that it's legit.
Yes.
You gotta make it more. And you also have tools nowadays that says, make your submission sound like mine, and here are my 5 earlier write-ups, and then make it in your language.
Yes.
Right? So sometimes when it's going down that way, when AI makes up a whole case, I may have difficulty recognizing whether it's real or not.
Okay.
And there's so many cases out there.
Right.
So
right.
short of me taking time to look for that case, finding that passage and checking, I may not be able to on my own realize. So this is something I have to do on my own, or someone junior who has to go and check it, right? In terms of how it's going to impact the young ones, what I find amongst the juniors these days is that there seems to be, there's a part of the legal practice that we grow up learning and doing, which they don't.
Yes.
In the sense that we had to go through the school of hard knocks of picking up a book, going through it, and being patient with stuff.
Yes.
That patience is not there with the juniors.
Yes.
That's because they grew up in this current digital world.
Yeah.
But the good thing about them is that they are so comfortable, they're very quick, they're very fast, they just pick up things so quickly, which is a skill that I wish I had.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So it's now a matter of how do we marry both of these qualities?
Correct.
Your speed, your technology, tech savviness, and how do I then inculcate a value to say, look, you also need to take some time out to absorb, digest, and understand, because that ability to understand what you're doing is not there anymore. And there's a survey that was done which says that if you ask a student to come up with an essay entirely based on AI, they've not understood the material.
Yes.
But if you take away all digital matters and say, here are the books, here's offline digital base but no AI, you have to read it, understand, digest it, and then you sort of come up with an essay, right? And you can understand it. But that deeper understanding is lacking. Depth is what's lacking. Speed and content is high, but depth is not there.
Yeah, yeah. I like that you're not dissing the speed and the accessibility to content. I like that because we often hear people dismissing, oh, the young ones are like this and the young ones are like that. I too think, wow, they're like children of technology, and they're just born with it in their hands.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant. And I like that you share about taking a moment. That's like old school wisdom, right? Take a moment, stop, gain that depth. How do you advise young people young lawyers to what do they need to do to make themselves employable?
That is a thought and a concern that many juniors, interns, and pupils have expressed. We've got a very thriving young talent committee that engages a lot with the young ones, and that is one of the primary concerns.
Right.
Are the robots taking over? Have we finally become redundant? I mean, I will say this as a starting point.
Yeah.
Advocacy is a position that no robot can take. Advocacy not just in the courtrooms, but advocacy even in the boardrooms.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So people always forget that advocacy, just think of lawyers in big robes, thrashing it out in the courtrooms. But if you take all that away and you think about what happens in a boardroom, you've got two armies on each side.
Yeah.
You've got your CEO and who are decision makers, and they're duking it out over this one line in an exemption clause. You're fighting it out, right?
Yeah.
And you have to justify then why it should be there, why it shouldn't be there, what cases are you supporting, and that can get quite intense. And imagine your entire client fraternity is watching you. That's also advocacy, right? Are you able to persuade the party other side to accept my clause, but I don't want to make you look like an idiot?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's not going to relent, or she's not going to relent because it looks bad.
Yeah.
How do you then reach that? So a lot of EQ is available. Advocacy is that, right?
Yes.
So
it's influencing, right?
And in the courtroom is easy because I just present my position.
Yeah.
Judge makes a call.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In the boardroom, there's no judge.
Correct. Yeah.
Both of you are fighting it out. Who's going to back down?
Yeah.
So that is a different skill, but it's still advocacy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I would say those, if you want to be a lawyer,
Yeah.
aim for a position where you know it's not going to be taken away. And advocacy, or being the frontliner in pushing a client's agenda to get something, robot is not going to do.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
But getting there, robot might help you. So use
Right.
the robot, use the AI
Like
as
you're
a
saying
friend,
robot. Yeah.
as a friend,
Yeah.
as a tool, someone to help you. So to the young ones, I would say, be so good in your AI utility that you make yourself indispensable.
Yeah.
That means I can, if I have someone new coming in, the person should be able to say, look, I know all the coding, all the algorithms behind the AI,
Yes.
different ones that are out there. I can
Yes.
tell you which ones to use, and I
Yeah.
can use them and produce a result you want in a fraction of a time.
Yes.
I can't do that.
Yes.
Take me a long time to do
Yes.
it. But someone can do that for me, I'll value it.
Correct. Yeah.
So pick up a skill.
Yeah.
So don't take AI as an enemy, befriend it.
Yeah.
Learn
yeah.
it, and then use that as an advantage to say AI is here, but to use the AI you need me.
Yes. Yes. I
'Cause
cannot
will
be
not-
manipulated.
Correct.
Yeah.
All I can chat GPT is like, where's the best banana leaf restaurant nearby? But then this AI person, I can take you like 10 degrees level and give you a whole PowerPoint of which banana leaf are the best, which
Yeah.
serves this. I can give you a PowerPoint.
Yes.
What do you want?
Yeah.
So okay, I value that,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And ultimately, the skill to communicate, to speak to, legal services is a service, right?
Yes.
You're not making a product, you're selling
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get AI. I still need people to talk to clients.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you are not going to be able to converse, what's the point? I'm not going to win the client. AI is not going to win me a client. I win the client, then I use AI to win more clients,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So your conversational skills are important.
Yeah.
And that is something the young ones lack because they are so entrenched in their devices.
Yeah.
They've forgotten with the world around them.
Yeah.
They're not
yeah.
communicating.
Yeah.
They're not talking.
Yeah.
Because they find all that irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the age of isolation
Yes.
at the moment, right?
So if they can stand out and say, I can communicate, I can
Yeah.
talk to you, and if I ask you a simple question like, if you're a vegetable, what would you be?
yeah.
Can you answer?
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. I want
Yeah.
to have a conversation with you,
Yeah.
like what we're having right now. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of young people who are put off from doing law because of confidence issues or even a big doubt in some element of their own capabilities. Can you share a story from your past about maybe even a fear or an insecurity that you had and how you've overcome it? You're thriving in the law, so how? Yeah.
Very kind of you.
I am kind.
Okay, I'll share something with you that I don't think I've told many people. I did not start off being confident. I wasn't a very outspoken character in school or growing up. I was one of those quiet, shy ones. And I have to say that it's a skill that you pick up over time.
Yeah.
Even like going before the judge and saying something and presenting a case, those things did not come naturally to me. It is something that I learned bit by bit through very painful lessons. But as I said, the moment you stop trying is when that skill that you could have had will also die with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't preempt a skill that would make you, into something better, but you have to keep at it. So those who feel insecure, they say, I'm not good enough for court and this, that. Yes, there might be something about you that says that you're not going to be comfortable in it. Unless you come to the conclusion that really is something you cannot do. It's against your nature. That's different. But just if you're just frightened and you're not sure, my advice would be keep at it until you come to the point when you say, I cannot do this. Then, okay, that's fine. But don't say no until you've actually done it. It's like saying, oh, that movie is no good. Why? Someone told me.
Yeah.
Reviews are bad or whatnot.
Yeah.
But unless you've actually tried it, even for like a dish, it looks bad, or I'm not, until you've actually tried it, you will not know.
Yeah.
It's only when you do that and you said, I've read it, I've seen it, I've tried it. No.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hearing wisdom in this because you're saying don't be afraid of failure. Don't put yourself in this position where you just dismiss this and then come to a point of no regret. Where I didn't do this, I didn't do this.
Could have tried harder.
Yeah. But you're also saying that there's certain things which you know that you cannot do. And I mean, using your food analogy, if you're allergic to shellfish, don't have to try, bolstering your diet with shellfish. That's not very wise.
Yes.
But yeah, but otherwise, if you aren't, then, don't be afraid to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Your role in law, I mean, you're a founding partner, very busy, family man.
One of the two founding partners. Yes.
One of the two founding partners. Family man, very busy. But yet you are very active in legal committees. How has your work in legal committees influenced the direction of the law, especially in the areas that you've been in?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I would say for me to be able to do things in practice and then go for this other, committee type or organizational type of work, I will give a lot of credit and big thank you to my wife, Jane. Without her support and understanding,
Jane, we're saying hello to you right now.
I don't think I'll be in a position to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because she understands my responsibilities and my passion, and she gives me that freedom to carry out these things. I was more involved in various Bar Council committees much earlier in my practice.
Okay.
I've slowed down a fair bit because I found that managing practice of this size and trying to help it grow, and then managing the workload and family life over the years has become a little bit stretched.
Yeah.
And yes, I also organized the annual
church
camp, Smaglo. That also takes up, it's just literally like 3-4 months of that year gets taken up, just organizing that huge thing, which I'm very happy to do. I feel this is a calling for me to get that.
I'm glad that you are called.
Also because nobody else wants to do that job.
That's what I'm thinking.
So by default, so I'm doing it. I'm happily doing it. For glory of God.
No, but we love you. We love you for doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. So I would say, what's the question again? How do I do it? Or
how has your work in the committees, maybe even in the past and that kind of thing, how has it impacted the direction of the law?
I see.
Have you seen any of that?
I see.
Yeah.
I think when I was in the IP committee, one of the things that I liked that we did, this was with the cooperation of the courts. We used to have regular catch-up sessions with the IP judge.
Oh wow!
Whoever was the IP judge back then.
Yeah.
It builds a lot of camaraderie amongst the IP practitioners and the judge. And that was a very nice thing that we used to do. So I think in that sense, the contribution would be a closer unity between the IP bar and the judiciary. So that was one good thing that came out of it.
Nice.
The other thing that we did was we try to, of course, make difference. Try to strengthen the IP practitioners' rice bowl by resisting certain, policy papers or advocating certain positions.
Right.
I mean, there are quite a fair bit to go through, but that would be some of it, though.
Yeah. Suaran, you earlier talked about getting the buy-in of your team, the people that you're managing, and you sort of said either way, if you have this element of discussing things with them, they will do it, or if you just force it down their throat, they will do it. So there's this influence and compliance. There's that difference, right?
Yep.
And we know that influence produces far better results and loyalty in the long term. How did you get to this, to be able to do this? How did you develop this skill?
I would say that sometimes you pick up these skills from the person who was bossing over you before.
Okay.
Right? So I was very fortunate to have had very good leaders and bosses, from my time in Alba Zulkifli, then to Screen. So in Alba Zulkifli, Chu Sut May was one of my bosses, a lovely lady. She was in the corporate realm. Mr. Jerry Ong, who's still there. Au Wei Lian, she was in telco department. Datuk Zul. And then in Screen, there was Mr. Khoo Guan Huat. He was one of the main persons who made a big difference in my life. Miss Charmaine Ong, Mr. Lee Tat Boon. These are all the IP legends in Screen. So I worked a lot under Mr. Khoo and Miss Charmaine. and their style was like that. Trying to, and what I looking back, what I realized was that they were very engaging, and even though they were so senior and they were brilliant, they still are. They will still not hesitate to ask my opinion, and I was a nobody, just first year there, and like they'll say, "What is your opinion?" And I found that over time, like for example, Mr. Koo, if he puts forward an argument for a certain case, and he finds that I'm not entirely convinced, I'll find that in a day or within the same day or the next day, he'll come back and say, "Okay, let me try this argument with you, whether it's going to work." And I realized that he's trying to convince me.
Yes.
And it shouldn't matter. I'm just a young one. But I find that that level of respect and kindness was amazing, because it shows that my value, what I have to say, my views valued.
Yes.
So I try to inculcate the same to my team. Of course, not the same way. Mr. Koo is just very kind and a brilliant genius of a man. So I do the same with my team. So if I find that they're not convinced by my argument, I'm like, okay, let me try this angle. Let me try this. Are you convinced now? They don't just say yes because I'm saying it. But are you actually convinced? Is this argument going to fly? If I can't convince you, I'm not going to convince the judge.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's that sort of thing. And then, you find that they will also reciprocate by then trying to argue back.
Yeah.
And, it's done in that manner. And they're not challenging me and saying they know better than me, but it's more of the interaction.
Yeah.
Then you have a buy-in of an argument. And so when they take that and they run with it, it comes from a position of passion, acceptance, and we've trashed it out. And I think this is going to work. Let's make it work.
Yeah.
So it becomes a team rather than Suaran said this, okay, no, let's do it.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to get the same level.
Correct.
The quality of it would not be the same.
Yeah. Reminds me a lot about my boss in legal firm. So I remember actually going for a meeting once with many other bosses and their juniors, and all of the juniors were about my level at that point, and one of the juniors spoke out of turn, and he got shut down by his boss.
Right.
So when I thought of something, I wrote it on a piece of paper and passed it to my boss
with a smiley face.
I just passed it to him, and he was class. He just said, "Oh, let's listen to what this young lawyer has to say." And he turned the floor over to me, but with protection. That was, and I see, like now I'm hearing you do this for your people. I think that's brilliant. It really, really grows people. Yeah. So good on you. How do you make time for all these extra activities with, church camp, committees, whatever else?
I came across this story a long time ago, and I'll share that here. I'm not sure whether you've got time.
Yeah, you have time.
It was a story about how, if on a table, I give you different size rocks, from big ones to smaller ones, and then pebbles and gravel, different size ones, right? And I'm telling you, all right, here is a glass bucket, and I want you to put all of this inside.
Okay.
Right? How would you do it?
Big sized rocks.
I've got a different scale of rocks, right? I've got big ones, the smaller ones, and then the smallest one, right? Would you start this way, small to up, or the big ones to the small ones?
Don't know. I need to think what I'm doing.
So
what I need the rocks for.
The way it will normally would work is that you put the big ones in first.
Right.
Right? Or the big ones
priorities,
the big ones go in first, because if you put the small ones in, may not be space for this guy.
Correct.
The big ones go in first, followed by the smaller ones, and the last one, gravel, you're just going to slip in here and there, right? So a similar thing with practice and life. Do the big ones first.
Yeah.
And the rest will just find its way along on the side. So you prioritize what should matter, and then along the way, all else that deem important may not be as important, and they will find its way into the little slits and corners
little
here
nooks and corners. Yeah.
So it's all about which are your gravel, which are your rocks.
Okay.
And then everything will just follow through.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Doesn't work all the time.
Don't dismiss what you just said.
Yes, but in a way of, if he's talking about juggling things, not every task, job, assignment, priority would be of the same size.
Correct.
Not all cases are of the same size.
Correct.
If you have to place priorities to certain things.
Yeah.
So if you think that attending your child's concert is very, very ultimately important, then you make sure everything else works around it and you make that happen. All else will fit in somewhere.
Yeah.
But if you find that, okay, this is another major thing coming up, work related, and the concept is that, okay, you gotta like, okay, I'm going to sacrifice this for now, make this happen, but make up for this one way or the other,
Right.
and then that becomes a smaller gravel that fits into this bigger work.
Right.
But you must not forget that you have to also one day prioritize this, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about juggling, and the sizes will vary over time, but always realizing that you must realize must put importance on what matters, and what matters to each person will vary from one to the next.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then everything else will then find its way.
Yeah. And how would you describe your leadership style?
I would like to believe that it is servant leadership, right? But it's not always that way, because sometimes things can get stressful, therefore you want to assert more. But I would like to believe leadership is a type where I do first, I make the first move, I serve, and therefore the rest will see that as an example, and then they also serve back, you know? So servant leadership, I think, is a bit underrated, but I think that is the way to move forward. Otherwise, I find that if you are too authoritative, too bossy, too overbearing, it may not bring about the result that you seek. You may get people staying on, but you're not going to get the respect and the loyalty that you so crave, or the love, right? But having said that, I'm not perfect. There are times when
you're not.
You're not going to get that on tape, but now you just did. But I'm just saying that it's not possible to do that all the time, because certain individuals will take advantage of that. Will see that as a weakness.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to then play your cards and see, okay, how am I going to put a situation where I put myself out as a certain person, and over time you see this. So one size doesn't fit all, because there are many specimens out there who will see that as a weakness and go all out.
Yes.
Right.
Is what you're talking about then an issue of boundaries? Is it that, like, how you manage your boundaries? Because I like what you're saying about servant leadership. It's something that I think I need to grow, and it's something that I actually love and want to adopt. But similarly, like you, there are times when you know someone is just taking advantage of it because it's seen as a weakness.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether then even as a servant leader, I tighten a boundary. Maybe with this person, I have to say, look, I need this to be done at this time. Whereas with another, I may not be so, I can give a broader timeline. I know things will get done.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just wondering whether that's...
Yeah, I mean, is it a boundary issue? Never thought of it that way. Is it a boundary issue? Is it a perception issue? Is it a managing different personalities as you go?
Yeah,
It could be all of that.
Yeah, true.
Right?
True.
But I think it should be undergirded by the fact that, all said and done, I must put forward a good example for them to also emulate over time.
Yes.
And I think that would be the foundational thing. So whatever, if monkey see, monkey do, though, right? It's a monkey right now. But they will mimic you. Those under you, over time you realize they start talking like you, behaving like you. It's scary.
Heavens, we don't want more of you running around.
But it's just like I've picked up traits from my bosses.
Yes, of course.
And I've over time blended mine with theirs, and then those under me, they've also picked up certain things from me. And I always tell people, please, make your own mark. Have your own personality. You will pick up certain things from me, hopefully all good. But you ultimately still have to be able to have your own personality shine through.
It is how we shape one another, right? When we're in community. I think that's an important part. If we don't pick things up, I think that's another problem. Right?
The psychopath.
So, yeah, absolutely. So let's not go down that road. But I like what you're saying about how not one size fits all and all of that. What values in servant leadership, or what principles do you really find yourself going back to build your teams, when you mentor those who report to you, when you handle challenges?
Okay, I think there has to be some level of selflessness in it, that you want to do something for them genuinely rather than so simple things like I try not to come across as someone who wants to boss people around. So it's just I know it's hard to believe, but in the sense that they have to see you, roll up your sleeves and get your hand dirty. They want to be able to see. I think a team that sees their boss working in the trenches with them will go a whole lot further than those who just see somebody in an ivory tower, right?
Yeah.
So I think getting into the ground as much as possible with them to get as much done, right? That's what's one quality, I guess, like fighting with them. That's one quality. The other would be trying to also understand their point of view as much as possible, because everybody's shape is different. Some are a little bit more sensitive to criticism, some are not. Some need a little bit more, whacking to get them straightened out, some are not. So also understanding that each of them carry their own baggage, and trying your level best to not just sympathize or to empathize where they come from, and communicating in a manner that gets through best way possible. Not the easiest thing. It takes a lot of time. And I don't do it very effectively at times, but just at least trying to understand where they come from. I think you'll see a better connection.
Can you give an example of when these limits that the parameters, I won't use limits, the parameters that of practicing your style of leadership have been pushed to almost breaking point? You don't have to name people or anything like that. Please don't do that.
I won't.
Just an example of a situation that makes it difficult or challenging.
I think one example I can think of immediately is that sometimes when you have somebody who is extremely emotional, right? Just as an example, right? That person may end up taking more out of you than you would like, right? So in that situation, as much as you want to be kind and understanding and whatnot, it reaches a point when it's like, it's okay, I cannot already. It's just too much. And there may not be any ill intent. The other person, it's just very emotional. Then that tells you, okay, maybe the fit may not be right. And some people, that's one example. Another one would be some people. My style of leadership, it would be very macro level. I don't go down to the minutiae and the micro type. I don't check every single thing. Some bosses do that, right? Mine's very macro. But you have juniors who want to be microed.
And the rest of us go, what?
And they are, and I didn't know. And I didn't know that people like that. I just thought that people that love to be left alone and left to their own devices, but I didn't realize that's how I am. I don't like to be microed. But some people like to be micromanaged. They want to be handheld, every single thing, for every single question, every single point. I don't have the time. And for that kind of person, a micromanager would be perfect. They would appreciate it. It's good fit.
Correct.
So then you have a situation when that comes in, when despite your best efforts, servant leadership, it's not going to work out because the personalities are just not the same, And if you try to go out of your way to match that, you find that you're going to drain yourself and get too exhausted, and then relationship will get very strained, So
you're not being yourself, so there's no authenticity in that relationship already.
Correct.
So that's harder.
And both are correct in their own places. Person who wants to micromanage is perfectly fine. They just want more guidance. They like that. And I don't want to be giving too minute of a guidance for every single thing. That's just not me. So
it's recognizing situations that also push you the way that you're saying, but being able to say, okay, this is happening. I don't want this to get too fraught with, too intense. And so hands off a little bit. Okay, thank you. So looking back at these last 25 years, what qualities?
Keep reminding me that.
I know. No, I'm reminding you because I'm proud to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm proud to see it, and I think it's wonderful. What qualities have helped you thrive? Being a litigator, an advisor, committee leader. I know you've done some training in advocacy. Father.
What
husband?
What qualities? I mean, I can think of qualities that did not work, but we're not going to go into that. Okay, maybe I will talk about the good and the bad. Right? Qualities that I wish I had less of, and I've learned over time to mute off or shave off would be, I think I do have a short temper at times. So that short fuse, I hope is less. It's more controlled right now. The jackal does come out every now and then. Or sorry, the hide does come out every now and then.
The jackal.
It's the hide.
Yeah.
But in the early days, I think that was the fuse was much shorter.
Yes.
So I wish I had less of that over time.
Yeah.
That's one quality I would tell people to work on. The other would be, I just had it in the back of my mind now. It's slipping through.
The world has grown bigger.
The world has grown bigger. And I wish. Putting that aside, in terms of the qualities that I would say young lawyers should think about and what they're helping me now would be, having a higher level of patience, being sure about what are the points you want to put across, just having that better sense of security is a good trait. That's one good quality I would put forth.
Yeah.
The other good quality that I think I wish I could do more of would be to have a better intuitive understanding of what's going on in a negotiation or a conversation.
Right.
You
mean to pick up cues better?
Pick up cues better.
Okay.
That's the right thing. So you picked it up. That's what I mean. There's a perfect example of you picking up what I was trying to say. So being able to just pick up cues from people and understanding sometimes what they're saying is not what they mean, or there's something else that we need to go explore further. And this is something I've learned more because I see that talent is something I see in Jane. She picks up cues so intuitively, and it's second nature to her, And I'm learning from that. And I see that if I apply it in practice, in home life and whatnot, I do get more out of the conversation or interaction than I would have had. Something I wish I had learned 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The psyche and psychology of conversations is so key. That's a quality I think I've learned. And that's something you need to know when you're talking to a judge, an opponent, whatnot, the cues you pick up.
But these are experiences that, we aren't born perfect and we keep growing.
Yeah.
So the fact that you are still talking about this, acknowledging things, areas that you want to keep growing in, I think that's a big lesson for all of us, right? To keep pushing forward. Okay, so this is a question that I ask everybody who, as we close, I ask everybody who comes onto this podcast.
Okay.
What does thriving mean to you in your personal life and in your professional life?
Thriving.
Yes.
You had to throw a tough one, didn't you?
The podcast is Pathways to Thriving.
Oh, right. Okay, I think if I were to sum it up in one word, is balance.
Okay.
Achieving a balance in your home life, personal life, yourself, and workplace. So when I find there's an equilibrium in all these various facets of my life, individually and collectively, to me, I think then I'm thriving. Because I would say if there's no balance on the home life, it's going to affect your work and vice versa. Same goes with church life, social life, and whatever else. So achieving a balance in all these various facets, to me, will mean that I'm thriving. That helps understand.
From where I'm standing, it seems like you're doing that really well, Suaran.
Don't ask Jane that question. She may have a very different answer for you.
That's going to be in the recording, yeah. So, thank you, Suaran, for being with us. And I want to thank everybody who's been listening.
Yep.
And if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you, Anita.
Yeah.